Welcome in, guys, to Rover Sports. Hope everybody is doing awesome today. Today I'm going to do some Green Bay Packers stuff. We're going to look at the defense for a little bit. So we're going to do Green Bay Packers offense and defense. Wish I had a little pointer to kind of describe this defense. So when you look here at this defense, I'm going to hold this up like this. When you look at the Packers defense, I really like their safety, Clinton Dix. Clinton Dix is a big-time player. He's a top 100 guy. He's a very good player. You look at the other safety, Josh Jones, don't know a lot about him. If I had to rank them all together, let's just do the whole secondary as a whole. They got Jaire Alexander. I expect him to be starting this year. Marshawn Lattimore was a player of the year. Jaire Alexander's 5'10", but he does everything really well. There's not that much of a difference in the tape between Jaire Alexander and Denzel Ward. And Alexander, they're banking on him being a big-time player. The Packers also acquired a first-rounder for the Saints because they allowed the Saints to go up and take Marcus Davenport from Texas San Antonio as well. So then you have two big guys as your other corners. So I like this because say you're going against Julio, say you're going against a big kind of wide receiver, like a 6'2" guy. I'm trying to think of a really big wide receiver like a Kelvin Benjamin, for example. He's the stereotypical big guy, or Mike Williams. You put Josh Jackson or Kevin King on him. Kevin King showed promise last year out of Washington, second-round pick. But this guy, Josh Jackson, 3 interceptions against Ohio State, and he was projected by some to go in the first round. They ended up getting him all the way in the second round. Perfect pick. They load up on cornerbacks. They had Legarius Gunter. They had a lot of guys that would just come and go. Really were futile at that position. Really poor. Look at the linebackers. Ryan, Clay Matthews, staple, left backer. Blake Martinez, who's really coming on strong, really good against the run. Blake Martinez, tackling machine, fun to watch. And you got Nick Perry, hopefully can stay healthy. All right? So, very good linebacking core. So, I'm going to go with the linebackers. I'm giving them a B+. I'm actually, for the cornerbacks, I would give them an A-, but it's just on paper right now. I haven't actually seen it on the field. Let's give them a B+ as well. The defensive line, let's give a C. You have Mo Wilkerson, but then you have a couple of no-name guys. Maybe their names, I don't know. It's Clark Kenny and Mike Daniels. So Clay Matthews kind of lost, his step a little bit. You're going to have to rely on Nick Perry getting home, Blake Martinez. Mike Patine is going to have to be very creative in calling linebacker blitzes in this 3-4 scheme. So overall, I really like this defense, though. It's a big step up from the year before, and I really like this Green Bay Packer defense.
When you look at the Green Bay Packer offense, this offense has a ton of pop. Jimmy Graham is a hell of a player. I loved that they picked him up this year. So you have Jimmy there, great tight end prospect. Then you look at the board and you got Davante Adams. I know that you're going to miss Jordy Nelson. And from a personality standpoint, that's why Brian Gutenhorst, when he came in here, he definitely was controversial. And for that, I give him credit. Kind of like Billy Beane ousting Tyrod Taylor a little bit. I like guys that are definitive in what they want. Billy Beane made a lot of moves, or Brandon Beane, I should say. I always get them confused. Brandon Beane of Buffalo made a lot of moves to get Josh Allen. This guy got a first-round pick, as I mentioned, for the defense. But you look at the offense. Aaron Jones is going to be out, a bunch of games at running back. So you're going to have to rely on Ty Montgomery. And then you have Jamal Williams. So you're lacking that kind of funder, that kind of traditional 3-down back. And that's what you hope Aaron Williams will be when he gets back for you. So I'm not enthused with the running game at all. All the linemen are pretty no-name guys to me. Brian Bulagas played a long time in this league. Lane Taylor, I've heard about him too. I think he's a pretty good guard. But then other than that, David Bakhtiari, I don't even know a lot of these guys that are, to be honest, at the offensive line position, just being completely frank there. but I really like Jimmy Graham. I think Jimmy Graham can really be successful. I think he could do a lot in this passing game for the Green Bay Packers. Then you have Davante Adams. You have Randall Cobb, who's very up and down, very overrated player. If you look at NFL circles, Randall Cobb's overrated, okay? But you have Davante Adams, who is underrated, a very talented player, a very good receiver. And then these are the two sleepers. You have St. Brown and Jamon Moore. St. Brown out of the University of Notre Dame, a really good steal for the Packers in the 6th round. He has huge potential. Jamon Moore is a deep threat. A guy that I can see maybe being Steve Breston in the NFL, trying to think about who Jamon Moore can be. Maybe a J.J. Nelson of the Arizona Cardinals. I keep on going the Cardinals guys. I'm trying to think of Jamon Moore. He is a big wide receiver, a deep threat out there on the edge, and I think he's a good player. He can maybe be like a Jeremy Curley. So I look at Jamon Moore really being like a streaky, deep ball wide receiver, a guy that honestly will catch like a deep ball. Him with Drew Lock was awesome at Missouri last year. So now you look at Jamon Moore playing with Aaron Rodgers. Jamon Moore is a guy that's not great in combine activities. He's more of an on-the-field type guy. He's not going to blow you away with his speed in the combine, but his play speed, I mean, this guy was electric in the SEC, and then St. Brown was underutilized at Notre Dame. I believe that the wide receiver core is really close to an A. You combine that with the emergence of Jimmy Graham, and this is going to be a special, special team in terms of...
Welcome back in, guys. What is going on? I am now going to divulge the schedule to you guys, a schedule prediction, and I think that this is made in a more entertaining fashion using this whiteboard. I think that people on YouTube will remember me better. You know, it's like that guy who does college football videos that's pretty talented. He has a suit on. I am going to divulge the big board. Greens are W's, reds are losses, and the blue lines, I'll leave that as a surprise. So here we go. The Green Bay Packers schedule prediction is divulged. Start off with the Chicago Bears. Green Bay is already a 6-point favorite. I would be shocked. I would be stunned if Matt Nagy, Trubisky, in the first game that they play, go into Lambeau and beat this Packers team. I believe that this is a given W, period, end of story. I think that they... I mark this as a one check. You now will know what the checks mean. So the blue checks, if you have two blue checks mean that... I think that game is really hard to predict. But one check means I'm pretty confident. One check means it's a toss-up, but I'm confident. I believe that the Packers defeat the Vikings here at Lambeau Field. I think for Kirk Cousins, he plays San Francisco week 1. It's going to be difficult to go to Lambeau. The Pack is staying home. I think Jimmy Graham is going to get an opportunity in this game. I have them going to 2-0. At the Redskins, very confident they'll beat the Skins here in FedEx Field. I think the Skins will be one of the worst teams in the NFL. Their defense is stale. Kavanaugh is stale. Their whole team is just totally stale. Minuski, their linebackers of Preston Brown, of Zach Brown, whatever. I don't like the Vikings. I don't like the Redskins at all. Kerrigan's getting really old. Swearinger is injury prone. The cornerbacks aren't even that good. They draft Alabama linemen that barely play. Ryan Anderson, Jonathan Allen didn't make an impact. I'm not a fan of the Redskins. I said they would be terrible. I think the Packers win that game. Fourth game, Buffalo at home. It's going to be Josh Allen or McCarron. If Aaron Rodgers is healthy, this shouldn't be a problem at all beating Buffalo. Buffalo has an okay defense. They don't win these types of games at Lambeau. The only game I was surprised Buffalo won last year was Buffalo beat Atlanta in a very fluky way. It won't happen with Sean McDermott here. The Pack get to 4-0, I believe, to start the season. The Vikings game's the toughest game, but I'm confident on 4-0. And then at the Lions, I mark this as a half a check. A little bit nerve-wracking going to Motown, but the Pack have their number. It's going to be a first-year head coach again against an experienced coach. So I look at Patricia and the Lions. I like the Matt Patricia hire, but I'm not a Jim Bob Cooter fan. I'm not a big Matt Stafford and Cooter fan together. I don't think that the Lions are beating the Packers. So the Packers I have starting 5-0 to start the season. 49ers, toughest game to predict. Jimmy Garoppolo going to Lambeau. This game will be decided by a field goal or 7 points. The best game of the NFL season will be Monday Night Football. ESPN gets an absolute darling of a football game. We're going to have Packers 49ers. I have the 49ers here taking supremacy of the NFC with a huge win at Lambeau Field. Again, the 49ers and the Packers, this could be a team, this could be an NFC Championship preview right here. So that game is a complete toss-up ball game. Then you go to the LA Rams. I am confident in this pick. Maybe I should have marked it a 2-star, but the LA Rams are difficult to read. But I'm not buying the Rams Kool-Aid at all. I think the Rams take a huge dip. I like Aaron Rodgers going to LA, and I like the Packers bouncing back and getting a W. Then at New England, so this stretch of games is really difficult here. I'd say from week 6 to week 12, they can't drop multiple games or they're going to be fine. As long as they drop one and then they're able to pick it up, because we have 49ers, Rams, difficult NFC West teams, and then at the Patriots. So a very tough stretch of games. I have them losing to New England. Pretty confident that they're going to lose to the Patriots. So that means I have them through 8 weeks. I have them 6-2. Dolphins is a dead win. You got to win that game. Miami blows. You got to absolutely go 3-1 against the AFC East if you're the Pack. So there you go. 7-2 is a beautiful record at that point. Seattle on the road playing Russell Wilson. That game last year, Seattle showed me so much when they beat the Eagles last year. Still a very dangerous team. I know Cam Chancellor is retired. Maybe Seattle will tank. A lot of people are thinking Seattle will tank. I happen to disagree. I like the Rashad Penny pick. The whole draft mob is getting on John Schneider and the Seattle Seahawks. I think Seattle is a potential wild card team in the NFC. Wilson is so dangerous, and you got rid of some of that locker room drama that needed to be ousted in Seattle. That game is brutal going to Seattle. I think they dropped that game. Here's my double sticks, my double blue in terms of games that are difficult to predict. I have the Packers, spoiler alert, going 6-0 in the NFC North and winning the division. I have them beating the Vikings twice, and I have them winning here in Minnesota. An incredible game that could be played, but most people will just give a split. Cardinals, I have a win for the Packers. Falcons, I don't believe Matt Ryan's coming into Lambeau. I don't really respect Atlanta as a road team. At Chicago, tiny bit hard. I marked it as a little bit of a tricky game late in the season. I could see some potential problems with Matt Nagy and Trubisky. I don't think the Bears this year, I think their morale's going to be good. They're going to fight in every game they play. I still have the Pack winning all these games. The Jets, I believe the Jets are going 4-12 and Bowles is getting fired. Jets fans know me. They know exactly how I feel about the New York Jets and their prospects this season. I'm not being angry. People call me a Giants fan. I am a Giants fan. Fact is, I'm being totally truthful on the Jets. I would tell you guys if you guys had a really good football team. In my heart of hearts, I don't believe the Jets are a good football team at all. I don't believe in their coach. I don't believe in their direction. I don't really believe in Sam Darnold at quarterback. So will the Jets prove me wrong? That remains to be seen. I believe that's an easy W. And then the Lions game, the Matt Flynn special. I have Green Bay also winning that game. I have Green Bay going 13-3. And I believe then that they will be the NFC regular season champions and might secure a first round bye at 13-3.
Thank you guys for watching Rover Sports. You guys are awesome. Appreciate y'all. Hope you guys enjoyed the video format, the new chalkboard, the new whiteboard today. I'm not going to be LeBron James. Right now, I am not going